Ever since the major technological advancements of the 20th century, it was only a matter of time before someone would try to automate your investment strategy. The problem is, it's not that simple. For those of you who are being introduced to this for the first time, a robo-advisor is an automated fee-based financial advisor. How it works is, you answer a few questions, give them access to your accounts, and they automate your investment strategy. There are several problems with this method, and you should think twice before turning your portfolio over to an automated advisor that will place you in an investment allocation based solely on your age, risk tolerance, and asset level. The idea is simply absurd. Not once do these robo-advisors ever take what's happening in the market into account. Not once. Bill Harris, the CEO of Personal Capital, has a different idea. Robo-investing has become popular in recent years due to more and more experts claiming that investors can't and don't outperform the market over the long term, so why should you even try? These proponents of efficient market theory are spouting nothing but bunk. Plenty of investors, professional or otherwise, have been able to show fantastic returns over the long term. You just need to do a little due diligence and find them. Will they always be in your backyard? Probably not, but they're worth looking for. The rise of new names like Wealthfront, Betterment, and Future Advisor are betting that they can replace investment advisors. Do you want a robot managing your entire life savings? To give Harris some credit, he does speak from experience, having led PayPal and Intuit in the past and having seen technology upset past modes of doing business. He launched Personal Capital in September 2011 thinking investment planning was broken. People were only doing it as a gimmick while they charged for other things, he claims. Unfortunately for Bill, this is, at best, only remotely true when you look at fee-based financial advisors, not fee-only. In the same way sites like Mint.com have tried to take over personal household accounting, this wave of new online advisory firms is trying to take that logic a step further by automatically investing client money in diversified investment strategies, using sliders for goals and your perceived risk tolerance, then investing in index ETFs according to what the algorithms and calculators decide is the best risk/reward profile for the customer. Sounds good on paper, but applied in the real world will simply lead to poor returns. Consider 2008, for a moment. Index funds tanked, they all did. The only investors who did well were the ones who lowered their portfolio allocation to certain sectors and industries before the crash. Robo-advisors openly admit that they can't do this, nor could they get you out of the market entirely before a crash. Isn't what you want is someone to tell you when and where to be in the market. That's why you pay someone to manage your money. Many have argued that the idea of a computer replacing all forms of professional money management is unrealistic and potentially can be very dangerous to your financial future. The only financial advisors you should be considering not only try to get you a better annual return, but are actively watching your money and adjust your allocations accordingly to lower the overall volatility of your portfolio. It's useful to keep some numbers in perspective. Many people simply don't have the threshold account minimums to work with fee-only financial advisors. If you have over zero in investable assets, there is a much better way to have your money work for you. The online platforms appear to be a great resource for someone in the earlier phases of their career, says Phil Ridolfi, a CFP licensee with Balasud Inverno-Foltz in Itasca. He praises their low-cost, globally diversified funds and ease of use. One can argue that even if you are in the earlier phases of your investing lifetime, a robo-advisor may still not be a good idea. Diversifying your money over a dozen ETFs using an algorithmic investment strategy can put a serious dent in your overall returns. You'd be better off picking an index ETF no more than 3 and leaving it there. Don't try to adjust it, don't sell when the market goes down 10% or change your allocation when one index starts to perform the other. be the tech bubble of the late 1990s when the Nasdaq outperformed the S&P 500 by 56% just to have it get destroyed in 2000. Save yourself the necessary fees and take 10 minutes to do it yourself. You'll be glad you did. Wealthfront is a competitor of Personal Capital, and their CEO Adam Nash, a veteran product and engineering guru with names like LinkedIn and eBay Inc. on his resume, says his firm is frankly targeting General Y investors, a group he says doesn't like to talk to people on the phone and prefers doing business in the same way they are living their lives online. Yet none of them seem to know how to use them when it pertains to investing. Interesting. It seems to me that there is a lack of teaching, not a fundamental change between generations. Yes, Generation Y may prefer to do everything online, but they could take a few days to scour the internet and find a fee-only financial advisor that has a proven track record of successfully managing money through multiple market cycles. When you are going to make a decision that will have a huge effect on the rest of your life, it makes sense to take the time and do some due diligence. The perceived human factor. Bill Harris, the CEO of Personal Capital, mentioned earlier, doesn't just want you to turn over your financial future to some algorithm. If you have more zero, he also wants to connect his clients to a fee-based financial advisor. Anyone can be a licensed fee-based financial advisor. It takes about 2 weeks of studying, and then they must pass a test. That's it. Most fee-based financial advisors have little to no market experience, legally cannot show you how their advice affected their other clients, and many have only been around for a couple of market cycles. Robo advisors are also big fans of getting people to constantly monitor their financial planning on their iPhone and iPads. Let's be perfectly clear. You need to know where your money is and how it's being invested, but you should never, and I mean never, try and watch it every day. It'll drive you nuts, and you'll make poor emotional decisions, because if it's not just you, most investors do it. It's really hard to be completely objective about your own money, as it's up one day and down the next. Check your portfolio at most every 6 months. If you struggle doing that, then you need a new financial advisor. Technological backlash. Despite the different approaches, the worry among advisors is that websites are mostly doing it backward, letting the algorithm choose the investments before the planner has sat down to discuss long-term and short-term goals, a 20-year time horizon for college money or a 40-year time horizon for retirement, and short-term money for a mortgage, etc. None of these websites can handle your estate planning or insurance or figure out complex cash flow problems. All the machine does is determine the risk and long-term growth metrics using a style box investment method. Furthermore, there is the tough love aspect of planning, that the machines can't offer the ability to fire a client living beyond his or her means. Would the algorithm tell clients they need insurance, or that they are paying too much in rent? Lush pickings. All of these firms are less than 5 years old. They are thriving at a time when all investors are thriving. The S&P 500 has risen more than 170% in the 5 years since its bottom in March 2009. Could these firms live through a downturn? Wouldn't the risk be worse if panicking clients had to deal with all the volatility in the next market downturn? Without having an advisor to actively manage your portfolio and try and defend against major market downturns, how can you ever hope to achieve your financial goals? Harris thinks that Personal Capital can benefit as much in a down market as in an up market, since the service is personalized even though the strategy isn't. In a static indexed strategy, if the market goes down, you go down with it. There are no exceptions. If you are contemplating using a robo-advisor, please take a moment and consider your options. What you do to secure yourself financially for the future is the most important decision you'll ever make.